What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another video. Two very special guests on a Monday night. Forget EastEnders, forget Coronation Street. We got Super Kevin Campbell. How are you, bro?
I'm really good, Curtis, thanks.
Yeah, man, good to have you on here. And on his debut on the channel, Super Kenny Ken as well. How are you, bro?
Very good, very good. It's been a great time. You know, like we've got Nottingham, North London, and we've got South London. You know what I mean?
Man, a good mixture there, man. Good mixture.
Yeah, a very diverse panel.
Yeah,
always. So we're looking at the game. Football's finally back. First game back, Manchester City away. Couldn't have been much harder, really. But have we got a chance of beating them? Can we catch them sleeping? Maybe, I don't know. Premier League season's pretty much over for them. I mean, in terms of winning it, they've still got a win to get in the top four. But what do you think, Kev? Can we beat them on Wednesday night?
I think us getting a result depends on how Man City are.
Yeah.
Because if Man City are at the races, they're going to be too much for us. They've proven that in the past.
Yeah.
But because of this lockdown and no fans, you know, it might play into our hands. And all we could do, look, if you're an Arsenal fan, you're hoping Arsenal turn up. You're hoping Arsenal can defend properly. You know, Aubameyang and that would always create something up top. But if we don't defend properly, we don't stand a chance. So hopefully we could defend properly. And if you give me the draw now, I'll rip your hand off. I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. Ken, what do you think about the game?
Well, I agree with Kev. I think the thing about it is that both teams are going to be like pretty short of match fitness, because all the momentum kind of left us in March the 7th, which is probably the last game. But in terms of like Man City, there's always a way to beat Man City, but it's always been good enough. It's got to be runners. You've got to be able. You've got to be prepared to not have the football, with something which Arsenal love to do. They love to be in charge of possession. They're not going to have that. They have to be prepared to do the dirty jobs and catch City on the break. And it's not just getting, one player. They have to be able to have bodies up there to support Arteta. That's why you're going to need Pepe's pace. You're going to need a bit of pace around him as well. Just get some runners, because we're going to win this by being compact and hitting City on the break. Which if you look at a lot of teams, when teams have beaten City, it's always been that way. Always stay compact, hit them on the break, and take them by surprise, and then beat when you do have a chance, get back in and foil them, because they're going to try and walk the ball in the net. They're not going to hit shots from 20 or 30 yards. They're going to try and slice you open. So that's going to be our tactics on Wednesday.
Yeah, because I actually remember I went to the game the last time we beat them. I think was 2015. Giroud header, Cazorla penalty, and it was the first time I'd really seen us like so solid defensively at a game like that. Coquelin and Cazorla in the middle. We use Sanchez on the break, and that's like the blueprint, as you said, counter attack. We can't really go toe for toe with City in attack.
Yeah, that's the thing. No team in world football can go toe to City. You know, even the best teams. I don't think even Barcelona probably will fancy their chances. But apart from that, it's with the amount of options Guardiola has, and the thing with City as well, they can attack from any part of the pitch. Like, it's no coincidence that Joe Hart was toast when as soon as Guardiola came to the club, because the first thing he did is that he wanted a goalkeeper who was obviously good with his feet, but he wasn't like kicking it 50 yards down the pitch. He wanted someone who can lay it off to the right back, lay it off to the left back, and then start attacks. That's where City are going to be dangerous, and that's why That's why you have to have some sort of Christmas tree formation where everyone's in the right place.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Kenny,
I think as well, Kenny. When you mentioned the goalkeeper, this is the great thing about that goalkeeper is when teams do squeeze up, he can play through balls from his own box over the top of Sterling, and Sane's back. You know, Aguero still got a turn of pace, and you know they've got an embarrassment of riches, haven't they? So you know you play too high up the pitch, you know they'll catch you over the top. So you know they know how to mix it up.
Another thing as well, which we've got, is that the 5 substitutes as well. If any team's going to benefit from 5 substitutes, it's going to be Man City.
Exactly.
I think that's where you're going to see this bit of disproportion, where basically you're going to see teams like Sheffield United have been fantastic, but they're basically the opposition when they play teams like Sheffield United are going to have 5 chances to get back in the game if they're 1-0 down.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, if you can bring off Aguero, Sterling and Mahrez, and bring on Bernardo Silva, Jesus, and Leroy Sané, it's an embarrassment of riches for them, isn't it? And we haven't got that same level on the bench, man. So it is going to benefit teams like City, isn't it?
It is going to benefit teams like City, but what we have to do is try and make the most of what we have got. We know our squad. We know our squad isn't what their squad is, but the likes of Martinelli. Kenny made a really good point about having pace around Aubameyang and Pepe and stuff like that. Martinelli's another one with pace. Reece Nelson, maybe not quite there yet, but he's another one who can hurt you in behind.
Yeah.
If we've got runners, as long as we keep it compact, we'll have a chance.
The midfield's going to be very important. It's not so people just assume like they've got to make tackles. It's about just getting your bodies. You don't have to make tackles. If they can't play through you, they will make mistakes, and it's about exploiting it. And that's why you need an accurate passer, who's going to find those players when we do get a chance. It's going to be very rare as well. So his midfield's going to be very interesting on Wednesday.
Yeah, because I remember when we played them earlier in the season at home and they slapped us up, man. And I remember De Bruyne said after that game, it was one of the easiest games he'd ever played. They did nothing to even try and get the ball off him. I mean, what midfield combination have we got? I mean, I'm not a big fan of many of the midfielders at Arsenal. I'm trying to be nice here, by the way. But, what combination would you play in there if we're going to play like a midfield 3?
Go on, Ken. I'll leave you to do this one first.
In terms of midfield 3, it's about what you need. You want a balance between defence and attack. Now, if you said to me, who are your best runners? Well, I'll say, well, hang on it. Why can't Maitland-Niles be not considered for that midfield run? We know we're going to be out of the ball. Without the ball a long time. We know that we need runners in order to sort of make those runs from turn defence to attack and support the thing. So why is it Maitland-Niles considered? Obviously, you're going to play someone like Torreira, but in terms of physicality, he will win the ball, but is he going to be that player who's going to be able to help us in terms of link with the attack? He'll up his defence, but we got to win the game. We've got to attack. So I don't know if we're going to personally. If I look at him in midfield, we know Granit's going to play. Granit Xhaka's going to play. So Granit Xhaka's going to need some sort of protection. So if Granit Xhaka's going to play, and you want him to be that deep line midfielder to play those passes, then give him some protection. So you've got to look at how we're going to protect Granit Xhaka. We're going to protect Granit Xhaka, and then we have to look at Maitland-Niles and and Lucas Torreira. I know the temptation is to play Mesut Ozil. I get that. I would get that from. But the trouble is, in terms of Mesut Ozil, City are going to work it out. You look at every game Mesut Ozil's played this season. We've started out by putting him into some sort of area where you give him a bit of protection, and he starts off as a quarterback. Then he works his way, trying to work his way into the further up the field. However, teams, we're not going to have a lot of the ball. So basically, Mesut Ozil's going to be very redundant. And he's going to spend a lot of the time without the football stuff. He's not the kind of runner we need. Yeah, we know he runs, but he runs in attacking positions. But he's not that player. So for me, I'll leave him out.
Yeah, there's no way for me that I would play Mesut Ozil in this game, and that's not being disrespectful to him. It's just when is the last time Mesut Ozil went to a top 4 club and dominated a game away from home? As you say, we're going to be chasing the ball most of the time. That's not Mesut Ozil's job. For me, and Chris just said in the comments there, I'd be looking at Joe Willock. Good energy, scored a couple of goals in these last 2 friendlies.
But how many chances does Joe need? Yeah, but how many chances does Joe need? Because you look at it, both in games under Unai Emery, Because if any manager gave our young players a chance, it was Unai Emery. And it's always a situation where the guy runs out of ideas, he runs out of steam, and in 45 minutes, you've got to make a change.
Yeah.
With the 5 substitutes, you'll probably be better coming off the bench, as would probably Mesut as well. But it's all about, being compact, having the runners. When we do have the ball, we pass the ball accurately. And then what we need is going to need runners. It's going to be hard for Lacazette because ideally you play Lacazette so he can hold the ball up. However, if you're saying you want runners, you want runners around Aubameyang, he'll be on the bench as well.
Wow, yeah. What do you think?
I would do something different. I would do something different.
Yeah.
I would look. I know Xhaka's going to play. I know Torreira's going to play, but I just have them as a solid 2. You do, your job is to get it, pass it, and protect the 2 centre backs.
Yeah.
I would play Lacazette just in front of them as a number 10 because we know Lacazette can work.
Yeah.
And I think him trying to hold the ball up front where there's nobody really around him is going to be a hard day's work. So
put
him in the number 10 role, let him hold the ball for the midfield so we can link the play. I'd go Aubameyang through the middle. I'd go Martinelli on the left, and I'd go Pepe on the right. So we got pace up front, we got tenacity in midfield, and we got a screen at the back. That's what I would do. But
I like that attack.
Yeah, the thing about it is our most important players as well. Obviously, we're talking about pushing the ball, but again, it's about getting that little protection for Tierney, and I'm assuming that Bellerin will play as well because they both should be fully fit. Maybe not match fit, but fit enough to start with. Where not only are they going to be very important in attacking sort of sense, if we do get the ball and if Xhaka passes the ball accurately, that's where we want to do the overload on City.
Yeah,
but again, it's one of the things where City are going to try and mess us around. You're going to get situations like if De Bruyne plays, 1 minute he's going to be the left, and he's going to be the right, maybe down the middle. Same with, and he'll interchange with Sterling and Bernardo Silva, or maybe David Silva. See, that's the thing with City. You don't know who's going to play.
You don't know who they're going to pick. Yeah.
You only guarantee about City's lineup is that you know that Edison's going to play in goal.
Yeah.
You know that Carl Walker's going to be right back. Left back, you don't know who's going to be there because of injuries, and that's probably an afterthought anyway because they're going to get the ball as well. Fernandinho is going to be the playing. So that's apart from that, he could try anything. I wouldn't even mention Mahrez. You know what I mean? It's
an embarrassment of riches, isn't it?
Yeah.
No wonder they're dominating football. Although Liverpool, and the exception, maybe Liverpool could retain the title next season. We never know. But it's one of those things where you look at it and you think, you know what? Everyone's talking about this player coming over. We seriously need a midfielder, a complete midfielder.
Badly.
Because we've struggled to name our midfield 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, Kev, you've been working and doing work with La Liga. So I'm sure, you've heard all these Thomas Partey rumours seem to be all over the place at the moment. So I'm getting a little bit optimistic, although not too much. Just how good is Thomas Partey and what exactly is his role in that Atletico team?
Do you remember the role Gilberto done?
Okay, yeah.
He is that type of player. He's actually probably more aggressive than that. Than Gilberto. He gets about the pitch, no problem. Fitness is never a problem. He's powerful. He's strong. He's decent on the ball. He can pass. He can get forward at times if need be. But the key point to him is he protects his 2 centre halves. That is what we thought Torreira was that, and then at some stages he was playing further up the pitch, which was crazy.
Yeah, under Emery, yeah.
People said Granit Xhaka got brought in because, he was holding midfielder, and then we find out he's not a holding midfielder. So, what are we doing? We need somebody who is going to sit in there, like a Fernandinho, as Kenny can say, who he's always going to be there. He will break things up, and he will, listen, he will hurt people. That's what I want to see. He will be in that midfield, and if the ball pops out and somebody is trying to break out with the ball, he will make contact and hurt people.
Yeah,
that is what we've missed, and that's what we need, I believe.
We think the thing about that is of Arsenal Football Club is that obviously it was a lot of the time under Wenger and sometimes at Unai Emery. What we do at Arsenal is that we have this holding midfielder where obviously since we've lost Gilberto, is that when Gilberto was holding midfielder, he didn't just protect the back four on his own. He had people, he had Parler to help him. He had Vieira sometimes to help him. And he had the discipline where people knew their jobs. And if it was game to game, even sometimes Henry, you notice there are times when Henry would come back and help out Ashley Cole, and on the other side, and vice versa. We don't have that at Arsenal, and that's where Mikel's got his work cut out. He can buy the party, he can buy in Diddy, but it's the whole mentality. What we tend to do at Arsenal, we get Partey, and we think, right, he's gonna protect the fence all on his own. You can't do it on his own. What if Partey becomes that screen and they pass the ball down the wings? It can't just go up and down. It's about other people doing their jobs as well. It's just a mentality, and that's what. Hopefully, I hope he's a talker. I really do hope that he's going to go grab someone and say, right, I want you there. I'm there. This is it. This is the free. They're not getting past us. You know your job, and this is your man. What I don't understand, right, is that it's a mentality thing. And Mikel's got to be ruthless. Because I'll tell you something, if he can't get these players to do as they're told, then he has to find other players because results will go against him. The fans will turn against him. All this optimism about how he looks in this prototype. For Arsenal fans have got every right to be fickle now because it's been 16 years since you won a title.
Yeah. Kenny, can I just add something to what you just said there? You made a really good point. You made a good point about Thomas Partey can't protect the back four on his own.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you the other thing that we need, which everybody knows, but we've never really addressed it, is that other centre half. Obviously, Saliba's coming in as a young lad, which is great. But we need another centre half because whether you like it or not, the two fullbacks are going to go forward. And at some stage in the game, your two centre halves and your holding midfield player have to hold the fort. Now, if you've got two good centre halves and you've got a holding midfield player who can do the business, you've got a chance. But our problem is our centre halves haven't been good enough. Yeah. And when your centre halves ain't good enough, Ken, when the ball goes wide, that ain't the danger. The danger is when it comes in.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the thing. It's about like working together as a back four, and then what's happened? First, you get the back four to work together, and then more sudden you get the midfield. And what you basically said, right? No goalkeeper. You say to the strikers, right? Try and get past them, and then you practice it. Obviously, you did that with George, didn't it?
Yeah,
it was like with George Graham. It was always a situation where everyone practices their positions and make sure they're in the right places. Because at the end of the day, it's training, isn't it? Yeah. Like the match is the icing on the cake. Football matches are won on Monday to Friday in training, where you practice and blah blah and train. So if training's soft, then you can't expect to be on that match day situation. It doesn't matter whether you're playing Spurs. If you're not working hard from Monday to Friday, then you're not going to be good on Saturday. And I think that's the situation. But again, it's all about them getting the right players in the mentalities. But in terms, you're right about a centre half. But the reason why centre halves are now costing as much as strikers is because they're scarce.
Yeah,
a good striker is scarce. A good centre half is scarce. You know what I mean? Everyone wants a great centre half. And like if someone shows a bit of progress, then Man United will want a piece because they said, "Oh yeah, he's available. We're going to have him." Look how much they paid for Harry Maguire, Man United, 80 million. Is it about 80 million for a centre half?
80 million, yeah.
Even though he's an England national, that's 80 million. You know what I mean?
And he's not world class, is he?
Well, yeah, but he's not world class, but he's Premiership class, and that'd do for now. But he could become world class. But that's the beauty of football is that it's all about supply and demand, and I suppose the specialist positions is scoring a goal and making sure goals don't go in. And they say
Kenny, we've been in demand for such a long time, haven't we? It's hard. And do you know the crazy thing as well? The crazy thing about us as Gooners, we know what it looks like. We've seen, we know what a good team, good defense looks like. We know what a good midfield looks like. We know what all these positions look like. When you don't see it, it drives us mad.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's happening is that players have got choice now, innit? They actually got choice. Players can, obviously money does talk, and if if a club's gonna pay someone 80 million, pay less than 80 million pounds because they're desperate to get in the top 4, then challenge the title where they feel they should belong, then of course the player's gonna want to go there because that club has shown that's how much they believe in the player, and they've shown in terms of monetary wise how much they're going to pay him, and that's the thing. But then again, players want to win trophies as well, and that's the thing. We're going to talk about it later, but it's again the buzzword is: are you an employee of choice?
Yeah.
Because what are you offering? Offering what a player can get somewhere else. We'll break the bank for you, all right? Yeah, but this club's offered me 300 grand plus I'm playing the Champions League.
Yeah.
There's got to be some.
I mean, Kev, something I wanted to ask you there. Obviously, you're an ex-Arsenal player. You've seen the club closer than we as the fans have. I mean, you felt the prestige of the club and the history and the fans. Your boy plays football now professionally. I mean, do you think that Arsenal still have that same, pull to players nowadays who probably haven't, if you're 18, 19, you haven't even seen Arsenal really win the league as an adult. So
prominent, you've not seen Arsenal prominent. You're right.
You know what I mean? So do the big players still want to go to Arsenal?
Look, let's have it right. Arsenal are still the Arsenal. Trust me. They're still the Arsenal, and the prestige and the respect that Arsenal have is still there. Obviously, the history tells us that. The club haven't been as forward thinking or trying to be the best as we would like, but we know that prestige is still there. I think what's the problem with modern day football is, as Ken just rightly said, it now becomes about money and what can Arsenal offer. The problem is if you're not qualifying for Champions League and you're not always pushing, and Arsenal haven't always been pushing in the last few years, people start forgetting you. People start looking elsewhere. What was it? 4 years ago, Liverpool didn't qualify for Europe. 4 years ago, and look at them now. So there has to be a plan in place. 1, 2, the hierarchy has to invest, and they have to invest properly. And it's not necessarily about that centre half or that player can get 300 grand at Man United or 250 grand at Man City. What is the plan of the squad and the team? Because I'd much rather a team where you don't really know the names, but it's a good team. Have the fancy individuals, and when it doesn't go right, people start mentioning the money, which drives me mad sometimes. We're paying this much, we're paying that much. No, give me a team. We're getting embarrassed by Sheffield United.
You should be back, but the fact matters is Sheffield United have got a clear and identifying way of playing football. They play with overlapping centre halves, which is how they played in the Championship and how they played in the third tier English football. Those players have been playing together all through the divisions. But the situation is that everyone knows their jobs. Everyone knows that when a centre half gets the ball and he goes into left back position or right back position, those right backs now become the front, the back three. They become centre halves again. So that's why it's about a clear and identifying way of playing football, and that's where Arsenal have found themselves lagging for the last, I say, since Barcelona. At least with Barcelona, all right, it was soft, but there was clear way of playing football. It was like Arsene wanted everyone to express themselves when they had the ball. Obviously, not when we had the ball, we were awful, but it was clear. Then obviously you buy two off-the-cuff players like Sanchez and Ozil, don't have an idea what to do with them, but think, you know what, just let them go out and play. But the horses run wild because you can get away with it, and then when teams work you out and think, well, you know what, they're not Arsenal without the ball. They're not actually marking around. So why don't we go to the Emirates and we might actually can win the game now when we go to the Emirates? It's because there isn't an identifying player. When Unai Emery has his legs cut away from him, after Baku, fans turn against him because they're thinking, well, everything was his fault, and then it becomes wild, and that's why Mikel's in-tray is massive. Whether he's the right man for the job, we'll have to wait and see. But he won't get the time that a lot of fans think he'll get, because the simple reason is that football's a dog-eat-dog business. And
Kenny, Arteta's got to be ruthless. You are right. He's got to be ruthless, and I believe he hasn't got the right. It's square pegs in round holes right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, but you play football, innit? Say if you became a manager at a new football club, right? The first thing you'll do, right, is that you want to get people on sides because you don't want to lose your dressing room immediately. So what you do is you're going to give everyone sweets. You're even going to give the bad boy sweets, and you're going to think, you know what, this guy who the previous managers don't rate, has a little bit of quality. So I'm going to give him like the biggest bunch. So basically, rather than give him a sweet, you're going to give him like I said, you're going to give him like the whole bag of bonbons to keep him on side. And then so basically, because you've got to buy psychologists when you first go to the club, you've got to be a psychologist. All the managers have gone in there and gone, I'm the big I am. Don't last long. You know what I mean? Look, Peter With, when he went to Wimbledon in '92, when he started to try to change things, he was out the door, wasn't he? Peter With. Because he wanted to get them to wear suits and blah, blah, wouldn't let them wear jeans. Out the door. Crazy game when having that. And that's what you've got to do when you go to a new club, is you've got to keep them on your side. So you are going to be inconsistent, or you're going to, play safe football next season. That's when it goes down, you know what I mean? Oh, Carl, you want to swim?
He likes the bonbons, I think.
Bonbons, man. I had them for years, bro.
Hey, guys, look, we all play the game at some sort of level, not as high as used to, but you do know about giving a naughty boy sweets and even a good boy sweets, especially when you go in. You want to make a good impression, and you just want to get people playing. And that's what Mikel's trying to do. I mean, he says some really positive things about Aubameyang, blah, blah. He's played it safe and boom, boom, boom. And it's one of those things that Arsenal is that it's probably the biggest job in football, to be honest. If you look at it logically, because you have to start from, like I said, mediocre all the way up, and patience can be required, which is not going to be there.
I mean, the thing that's been a little confusing for me as a fan, I don't know about you guys, we seem to be going down this route that, look, we want to buy young, hungry players, unearth gems. So we got Sven Mislintat in, who was one of the best scouts in world football for getting young players. And then you get rid of him. You bring in Raul Sanelli, who has been working at Barcelona, signing the biggest of players, but we don't have the budget to match that. So we're going to Kia Jarabchin, for example, who's got your Coutinhos and people like that. But we probably can't afford him. So we're being linked with like Willian instead and all these players. So the general direction of the club at times, it's like it's contradicting with what they're trying to do. So, what direction are we actually trying to go?
There's no plan. And that's really what you're saying, Curtis.
Yeah.
Kenny kind of touched on it before as well. There is no real plan to this. That's why we're seeing the likes of, I'm sure we'll cover it a bit later, Aubameyang coming up to a year left on his contract. Because there is no plan. I think they're winging it. They've got to a point where they're saying, we hope we get into the Champions League, and then we could keep the likes of Aubameyang, because then we can sign more players, more money comes into the club. But when that don't happen, or it's difficult that is going to happen, the likes of Aubameyang really have a decision to make, don't they? Do I stay and new players coming, and then it might take another couple of seasons. In another couple of seasons, I'm 33-year-old. It's a difficult one.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, Kev. You know what I mean? You've really touched on it. But the thing about it is that if you look at Arsenal now, you mentioned like Jerobian, Kia. That is where Arsenal now. Because Raul's at the club, we're now having agents getting involved in our football club because that's where our clubs were. I think Arsenal be spoilt by the situation where Arsene Wenger wouldn't deal with agents. Agents thought, you know what, I can't deal with this guy. He's we go to other clubs and it's smooth. We go to Chelsea, it's smooth. We go to Spurs, it's smooth. With this guy, no. So what's happening right now is that all this situation where you had people like Mendes, Zahivi, they were never around at us because Wenger didn't want nothing to do with them. Now he got Raul in, which is now modern football. All these agents are now just saying, "Oh, I know this player. Yeah, I can get your contract at Arsenal," and that's what's happened. We're getting a gig. David Luiz came to Arsenal because of a connection with an agent who works closely with Raul. And that's the same thing with the Coutinho thing as well. Is that you've got to realise right now that is really how football's been operated for a long time.
Yeah.
But again, in terms of I said it to you last week when we spoke about nearly 2 weeks ago. What's that? If you look at a youth team, we're getting better. We've got a few good boys playing, but we want a conveyor belt like Chelsea have. Why are Chelsea getting the best boys in London? We're not. Why is that happening? You know what I mean? Why is because the other day they're the litmus test. If we want to sort of dominate and challenge continuously, then we need to get our youth firms set up, sort out. Not so much. It's nothing wrong with it, but it should be better because the best boys are going to Chelsea in London. They're going to Chelsea, aren't they?
Yeah,
they are. Yeah, they are.
Yeah. And you're from you live in Manchester now, Kev. You see what City had done. 20 years ago, you will never have a situation where Man United will not be getting the best boys in Manchester in the Northwest.
True.
But the best boys in the Northwest are now going to Man United. You've got a situation where Man United players are sending their boys to City's academy.
Yeah.
RVP, Phil Neville. Hang on, what are Man United not doing? What are we not doing at Arsenal? Everyone talks about, what's happening at Hell End in Walthamstow. But let's be the best. Let's be the best. Let's just not tick over. Be the best. In terms of a situation as well, what is Leicester City doing what we're not doing? Why are Leicester City able to get these little gems when we're a bigger club than Leicester City? We allegedly got more money than Leicester City, but they got the right football people behind the scenes. Remember that Walsh guy left, but they got someone else in. You look at the players they're getting. These players can go for a lot of money. These players could be walking to the England side.
Yeah.
Why aren't we doing it? It's Leicester City, for God's sake.
But what you're saying, my brother, is exactly what we just mentioned before. You've got to have a plan. You've got to have a plan for your football club, and that's from the top down. That's first team, under 23s, and youth team. If you're not recruiting the best boys in London, or competing to get the best boys in London, what are you in it for?
Exactly. That's the thing. That is a situation, right? We've seen it. We've seen it like West Ham. Remember the West Ham guy when he produced players like Ferdinand, Carrick,
Lampard,
Joe Cole. Yeah, and ironically, 2008 European Cup final, all those academy boys from West Ham, basically, like I said, were
in Chelsea's team.
Chelsea, yeah,
and then Man United.
So you had Ferdinand and Carrick in Man United, and you had Joe Cole and Frankie Lampard on Chelsea.
Yeah.
And like West Ham like a claim victory. I mean, they still think they won the World Cup in '66, but they'll claim a victory for that. But that's a club that are playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why are Tottenham still able to get players that you normally would have come to Arsenal? Champions League football. You know what I mean? You just look at players in the belly, right? Would have come to us 3 or 4 years ago.
100%.
And the same with Davinson Sanchez, the same with Serge Aurier. All these players that come because Spurs have something to offer. They got Champions League football, and they generally believe, we may feel deluded, they think they generally believe that they're good enough to win the league and that they can challenge the best teams, and now they've got a new saying. They believe that. That's their mentality. They don't want to finish above Arsenal no more. They don't want to get the top four. They want to win the big trophies. They haven't done it, but they've tried. You look at their results. So
that's the problem, isn't it? And we haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, what do you guys think about the owners? I only want to touch on this quickly, but, the fans put a lot of pressure on Arsene Wenger to leave the football club. I think his time was up. Can the fans put pressure on these owners to move out of the club? Because for me, they're the wrong owners. I don't think their ambition is to win trophies. Do you think the fans can affect them and their attitude, or maybe moving on from the club, Kev?
No, I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. But no, I'm telling you the truth. I honestly don't think the fans can speed up Stan Kroenke leaving the football club. I think what has to happen is Arsenal have to kind of hit rock bottom, which is what we as fans don't want to see. We always want us to be successful.
Yeah, of course.
But the moment that investment looks like it's actually going to start costing people money, or people going to lose money, that's the only time where these guys will actually look on it and say, do you know what, I might as well cut my losses, or, I could make a few quid right now and I'll be done with it. Look, there's been some skullduggery going on in that boardroom. We had somebody kind of wanting to come in, Usmanov, who was going to put money into the football club. Yeah. But the board members wouldn't let him on the board. He could invest his money, but they wouldn't actually let him be a board member so he can have his say, which obviously is wrong, but they have their reasons. So again, politics is being played at the highest level. He's taken himself away. He's a gooner. He's an Arsenal man, but he has his legs chopped off. They wouldn't let him in. So now he's gone, and probably he might end up going to Everton to invest at Everton. Now, if he goes and invests his money at Everton, then there's another one who's going to come on and really push. But look, Stan Kroenke, it's time. You've got a manager now who needs the investment. Let's be honest. It's the third manager in a year. He's put down some decent foundation, but what he needs is to get this season out of the way, and then he needs to start recruiting, and he needs to recruit properly. But he needs money to do that.
But the thing about it, right, is that people can say, well, hang on here. If we're going by FFP, something that Arsenal were very much favour of, in terms of like our predecessor, not Unai, but the predecessor before, who were very much about FFP. If you look at Arsenal, what they're doing, they could argue, say, well, hang on here, we pay higher wages than Everton. We pay as higher wages than Chelsea. We have about the third highest paid budget for players. Because you said, well, hang on here, if you take out apart from Mesut Ozil, who in English football is earning £350,000 a week? Who's playing in Italy earning $200,000 a week? Aubameyang trebled his wages from $70,000 a week to come to Arsenal. So they could say, well, we're doing that. We are paying players Premiership wages. We've broken our transfer record 3 times in a row in terms of Pepe, Lacazette thing. So they could argue that. But the fact of the matter is that if they're providing money and all of that, is it a case where because of FFP, do we let players go, or let players go and free the wages because we need to invest now, or do we let them run their contracts?
Kenny, the issue again, we're going to get back to it, and it always comes back to the plan. It's not very well spending big wages, because if you offer players big wages, they're going to take it.
Yeah, of course.
But if we're bringing in all these so-called players, we should have a team. But we don't actually have a team. We should have a team. Fair enough. Maybe not. It's maybe not the biggest wage bill in the Premier League, but it's one of the biggest.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the last 8 games of last season, Those players should be ready. They should be ready. But we're not ready, and these guys will never really be ready until we change the plan. And that's why Mikel Arteta's in now. But you know what? A lot of these guys earning the big money are never going to make it at Arsenal, if we're honest, because they're not Arsenal players.
Yeah, not at all. And that is the thing. They're clearly not good enough. They're not good enough to play for Arsenal. But the fact of the matter is that if you spend big money, you're not always going to spend it. Make the right decisions. You are going to get some bad buys, and we've had some really bad buys in the last few years. Like to the extent that a club like ourselves can't afford that. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Like I said, we can't afford to be unlucky so many times. You can afford to be unlucky once, which happens like with Man United, Man City, and all the other clubs. Well, I'll say Man City, where they've had some bad buys, but they've had the money to sort of eradicate that. Some players have gone there, like the Rodwells, and they haven't worked out, but they've managed that. That is one of the few things they can afford that. Sometimes Chelsea with Torres and Shevchenko, we as a football club can't afford these mistakes.
No, you're right,
and that's the thing. But it's about Arteta doing the situation and having the plan, because at the end of the day, you can have all these right people behind the scenes, but if Arteta's not strong enough to provide us with a plan and a prototype of the player he needs, then it's pushed back to square one, and he might as well just stay for a year and then find somewhere else to work, because that it's really going to be, the pressure is going to be on him.
And do you know something about Arteta as well? I mean, do you feel that Arteta was the number one choice of this board because they look at him and they think he's going to become a top class manager? Or do you think they looked at it and thought, do you know what? He's going to be cheaper than Mourinho or an Allegri. He's not going to ask for 150 million to spend, and he'll be easier to control. I mean, what angle do you think they were looking at it when they appointed him? Because they turned him down a year before.
I think they made the right choice. If I'm honest, Mourinho, I think he's not for Arsenal. No chance. No chance. I'm going to go back to some of the derogatory things he said about the manager, Arsene Wenger at the time. And we know, look, us as fans, we've had our battles with Arsene Wenger at times, but we're not having that. We're Arsenal, and we're not going to have him in there. Listen, we've done ourselves a favour, so we could go up the road. Let's be honest.
You know what it was with me? I looked at this team as like a bunch of naughty school kids, and I thought Mourinho, he would have rustled the feathers a little bit.
I remember coming out of a wet King Power Stadium.
Yeah.
And I was wearing my hoodie. I didn't want to be recognised. And I thought, this has got better. I thought the only person who could save that bacon was Mourinho. I thought, just get him in, please. Just get him in. He wins trophies. He's won 25 trophies. I was desperate for Mourinho. I thought, let's get someone with a big experience. Then I went down to Rafa Benitez. And I never gave Arteta.
I never gave him a chance.
Guess what?
No.
He wasn't. He was in the running about. He was in the running a year before, and I thought, no chance. I don't want to go back in time with Arsene's philosophy. I want something new, and I don't think Mikel's bringing us new. But I'd never considered him as an Arsenal man. And even when I saw the picture of Raul and Vinay outside his mansion in Manchester. You remember, they didn't say a house; they said mansion in Manchester. Of my heart's sake, I went, is that it? We've been arguing amongst ourselves, talking about Rafa Benitez, like Ancelotti, Mourinho. Obviously, went to Spurs, so he was out of the running. But we were talking about Allegri, and then Arteta came along, and you thought. But then again, obviously, I've discussed it with you, Curtis, in private, and obviously you, Kev, as well on your stream. Arsenal never. It's an Arsenal thing to actually appoint someone like Mikel Arteta, because simple reasons that we appointed George Graham when everyone thought we were going to go for someone like Terry Venables.
That's right.
So in '86. Remember, Don Howe felt he had to leave because the club were blatantly making approaches to other managers. One of them was definitely Terry Venables, and obviously we heard years down the line it was Sir Alex Ferguson as well. But Terry Venables was definitely someone who Arsenal were pushing for. Well, again, David Dean's a naughty boy, mate. He's a naughty boy. He did some really crafty things. Went behind managers' backs. Went out clubbing with you lot, didn't he? When
has to be done. Kenny, look, us as fans, you don't mind if it's for the betterment of the club.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We could look on it now and say, he's been crafty, but hey, that's what you have to do. And just to add on to the point about Allegri, Curtis, Allegri's done the business, obviously, in Italy.
Yeah.
But these guys don't have the luxury of time.
Yeah.
If Allegri comes in and doesn't hit the ground running, what are we going to say as fans? You shouldn't have gone down that route, because, listen, in hindsight, we're good at that, aren't we? We could always say, you should have got this one, you should have got that one. Getting Arteta in, Arteta knows the club, he's captained the club, he's worked under, obviously, arguably one of the greatest managers, around.
Yeah.
And he's made a difference with Pep Guardiola under his stewardship. So getting Arteta in maybe buys them a little bit more time.
Yeah.
To get that foundation in, because he's coming in with half a season.
Yeah.
So you don't think he's long term then? If you say buys us time, do you think
I'm saying buys us time that buys them time not to get stick. Because if he comes in with half a season to go, Kenny, he's got half a season to go. Nobody's going to really say he's supposed to be ripping trees up, but that gives him 6 months to get a foundation in, to have a look at the players, to know what he wants. And then once the summer comes and he starts making the moves, I don't mind if he brings in players with who the names I don't know. I don't care. The key is, will he build a team that is going to make us proud?
That's
all I need.
Yeah, the thing is, obviously, you're around the Manchester area and you're still in football. What is it about Arteta that you think is going to make us successful? Because obviously, I'm a fan, and obviously, I'm seduced by big names. Obviously, me and Curtis were laughing when you were talking about Mourinho, because we both wanted Mourinho at the club.
We both wanted him at the club, yeah.
I knew that. I know.
Things I want to ask you, kid. What is it about Mikel that we got to look forward to? What is his strengths? Because we've never seen him manage, but you must know something. From what you've seen, obviously, beyond the scenes at City, and what he can do at Arsenal. What is it that that makes Mikel the outstanding candidate for Arsenal Football Club?
Well, here's the key. When there's going to be comparisons to George Graham. When George Graham came in, George Graham had a squad. There were international players. There was a young, hungry lot coming through as well. A bit similar to, the young players were probably better than our youngsters that are coming through now. There were more of them. But it's kind of the same kind of thing. But what you have to do, you have to be able to have a plan of how you're going to play and implement it. That's the key.
Yeah.
Having a plan, one thing. Being able to implement it is the key. As soon as Mikel Arteta came in, we saw a reaction on the pitch. We saw, against even the Chelsea game, we saw for an hour Arsenal play aggressive. They were making contact. It was high tempo. The difference was they normally don't play that way, so they fell away come the end, and we end up losing the game. Playing against Manchester United, end up beating Manchester United, kind of playing a bit better, bit longer. But obviously, he's not had a pre-season with them. He's not been able to put the roots down. I think Mikel Arteta, the key to Mikel Arteta now is being able to implement his style. That's what Pep Guardiola done at Manchester City. That's what Mikel Arteta's going to do at Arsenal. We know that he has to buy players because the balance of the squad is not quite right. But that implementation of it, guys, I think is going to be the key. If we give him the chance, and if they back him to say, right, okay, here's your budget, go and get the players you need. He won't be able to get everybody, but he needs some budget to get in some certain players to be able to fulfill what he's going to do.
Yeah,
it's just one game at a time. Remember when I used to say Freddie isn't ready?
Yeah. That was a classic. That was.
But you were right. You were right. But you were right, Kenny. You were right.
Yeah. But I don't know. He's a man in possession, isn't he, Kev? And that's the thing, Curtis, as well. He is the man in possession, and if he does well, Arsenal do well.
Yeah.
But he's got a massive job on his hands. I mean, you want your first job to be something easy, but the couple of Arsenal, geez, he's got something between those legs of his, mate. I'll tell you one thing, mate. I just really hope he does have a plan. But you know, results would be the key. Because you look at the Chelsea game you mentioned, Kev. One thing he didn't do, Frank outwitted him by bringing on Jorginho to control the tempo of the play and keep possession, and that's where we lost the game.
Yeah,
so obviously, a little bit of call error, but he improved in the next game because what he did against Man United is that he saw that Man United's strengths were the wings, so basically he just blocked them off.
Yeah,
he said by playing, so there are things, but I think the FA Cup would be a good for him. Just put something on the table, keep me quiet, stop me from worrying, and then give him a bit of platform.
Yeah.
And
I just wanted to get your thoughts on Aubameyang. We know this situation's been wrangling on and on. I mean, he did an interview with French television where he was saying basically, I haven't received an offer, but of course there's been discussions with the club. It's up to them, the club. They have the keys and it's for them to do their work. Afterwards, we will see what happens. I mean, to me, that sounds like a guy saying, I'm prepared to stay at the club if they make me an offer that is acceptable. So why are they not making him an offer that's acceptable?
Because they don't know what's going on. They don't know where they're going to finish, Curtis. Look, if Arsenal have a great run-in, and we could get into Europe, not even necessarily the Champions League, get into the European spot.
Yeah.
Then they're going to know kind of the budget for next season. But one thing Arsenal are not going to do, they're not going to make a decision on Aubameyang quite yet and leave themselves vulnerable in the back end. That's not how Arsenal run anymore. Arsenal won't do that. And do you know what? Aubameyang's well within his rights to say, I'm going to wait for the club. Because if the club don't have a plan or a good enough plan, listen, he's not an Arsenal fan. He's an Arsenal captain at the moment, but he's only had it a few months, really. So, why wouldn't he look to go to somewhere else where, he's 31 next birthday or in a few days, and he's going to go somewhere else to try and win things, to try and get in the Champions League, etc. Because if we're honest, and we a lot of Arsenal fans don't like to admit this, but if we're honest, Arsenal haven't been doing the right thing for years. They haven't been doing the right thing for years. And it's going to come back to bite us at some stage. And this might be it.
I mean, the thing is, like, the longer they leave it without offering him a deal, surely you're leaving the likes of a Barcelona or someone to go, actually, he wasn't a priority, but we can get him for cheap. Maybe we will go and get him. So it's like we're leaving ourselves exposed that, if somebody all of a sudden needs a striker or gets an injury in the next 10 games, Aubameyang then becomes a priority for someone. So why leave ourselves so vulnerable? I mean, Ken, what do you think about it?
Well, the thing about it is that you can make the player the offer and offer him the 3 moons, but he's got enough money. He loves living in London, but he still wants to win trophies. Remember, the last time he played in the Champions League was in the group stages in 17-18 season, and then he was transferred to Arsenal because we made Dortmund an offer they couldn't refuse for the 60 million. Now, he's got to look at his situation. He's 30 years old. He needs to be playing Champions League football.
Yeah.
He needs to be. Oh, with great respect to the fact that he's chosen to play for Gabon, they're not going to win the African nation because there's countries that are stronger than them. Nigeria's stronger than them. Ghana's stronger than them. North Africa,
Ivory Coast, Ivory Coast,
Cote d'Ivoire are strong.
Yeah.
Egypt and Algeria are stronger than them, so they're not there looking. So he has to have a situation where he wants to be in contention of winning the big trophies, maybe abroad, or definitely Champions League's a nugget. We're as far away from Champions League as before. So again, it's a decision he has to make, and we have to respect that decision. You know what I mean? Because we on the one hand, we're saying, well, we've got to keep Aubameyang and build a side around him. But you're actually talking about building a side around a 31-year-old, no matter how great he is. And that's the situation Arsenal got themselves into, is that really and truly, it's all down to the player and what decision. We don't even that. Even if we do make an offer, he's still obliged to say, no, I want to go elsewhere. And put me in the transfer list. It's only the reason why we're talking about it is because we've made the mistake of letting players run down their contracts. Now, I know a lot of Arsenal fans would like that to happen because of what a great value it gives to the football club, and because you're guaranteed 20, 25 goals.
Yeah.
But we're in terms of the money that we can get for him, the greedy side of me thinks, you know what? Why not?
How much do you think we can get for him, though, Ken? Like in this market as well, post-pandemic, how much is he worth?
Trust me, man. One thing, until if it wasn't for Marina Granovskaya, I would have said 30 million. But if she can get money for stupid money for her players, I don't see why we can't, mate. Trust me, there's always someone out there to pay over the odds for a player. There'll be someone out there to give us 60 million for Aubameyang. He scores goals. Right. He scores goals. So whether he's in the last year of his contract or not, someone will pay that money. Marina Granovskaya has shown me the way.
Kenny, the problem with that is the 60 million might come from home. Yeah. Might come from England. That's the problem. We don't.
Is it a problem? Are us the English?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Is it? But the thing is, the trouble with England, this country, right? And that's probably one of the reasons why England don't do well in national tournaments. Is because of the comment you just made. It could come from abroad. We can't sell to our rivals. We're too obsessed with club football. Obviously, it's not. It's going to hit. We've done it before. We've sold to Chelsea. We've sold to Man United. It's not as if this is something unique, is it?
No. But Kenny, if you remember rightly, we have sold to them clubs and we've give players away to them, and it always comes back to bite us. So why, if you keep shooting yourself in the foot, why would you keep stepping on the nail after? You won't do that.
I hear what you're saying, but the fact of the matter is, the club, from the chief executive, has said we're not going to have a situation where a player is going to be allowed to run down a contract. Now, that is set in stone.
But that's already done. That's already gone. That statement is gone. Right, he's already there a year left.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is the player is going to be 31 years old, right? It's going to be 31. He has to play in the Champions League. He has to be playing. He has to be in a team that's going to win the league. And it's the fact of the matter is that we have to play devil's advocate, because the reason why Arsenal fans turn against players, because we only see the fact that it's Arsenal or nothing. We all agree Arsenal are magic, Liverpool are tragic. What we used to sing as 8-year-olds, right? Okay, remember that?
Yeah, I remember all that.
8-year-olds, yeah. So we generally believe that Arsenal's the Alpha and the Omega, but we never see the side of the player. Right now, we're in a position where we haven't got the Champions League football. Before, you could say, well, we're being Van Persie, traitor, Nazi, traitor. No, forward, they left him for ambition because you had the Champions League to offer him. You haven't even got that to offer Aubameyang. So he's got the biggest decision to make ever. Well, it's not an easy... It's personally, for me, it's an easy decision to make. I'm not going to say so.
Here's one.
You're saying it without saying it.
Kenny, all right then, Kenny. Here's one then. If I was running the club, he's not going anywhere. Because... Because where do I find 20 goals a season guaranteed?
Yeah.
It's going to cost me a fortune. So what I then do,
100%,
hold on, Kenny.
100%.
So what I do, I say, right, Pierre, we're going to keep you, and we're gonna have a full-on assault next season for the Champions League. If we don't get there, I understand you're going to go at the end. You can go on a free, but if we do get there, obviously Mesut Ozil's money is available then. So you obviously the club don't necessarily have the money to go larger probably now, but when Mesut Ozil's over, obviously that frees up a big lump of cash to be able to make moves. And if you've then qualified for the Champions League, I know it's a risk, but Arsenal have been taking this risk already. So you might as well go the whole hog. Yeah. In my eyes,
it's Russian roulette, but you've got to realise, right, is that there's only 3 clubs with liquid assets in football, in English football: Chelsea and the 2 Manchester clubs. They can afford to write this money off. Can Arsenal Football Club afford to take that risk? That's the question I have to ask you. Because Dave, Arsenal Football Club's a football club and a business.
Yeah, Kenny, it is a business. But here's the other part of that business, Kenny. If he goes and you get 30 million, who do you bring in to guarantee you 20 goals?
Well, see,
it's going to cost you a lot more than 30 million.
Yeah, cool. And that is the thing. But again, we've put ourselves in this situation because we haven't been doing our jobs off the pitch. We've been very complacent. We think that when we look at our players, we think just being at Arsenal's enough, just living in London's enough, having your best mate along is enough. And we don't. Our mentality doesn't fit like. We generally believe. We generally believe in a very deluded sort of way, by the way. But we're still part of that conversation.
Yeah.
You go to any pundit on being in sports, Sky Sports, BT Sports. You've worked with TV stations as well. I can guarantee you, Kev, not one of them mention Arsenal when it comes to getting the top 4, winning the title. Arsenal is one of the biggest. Yeah, Arsenal is one of the biggest afterthoughts in football. Now, these are ex-players, all right? That's fine. But I'll tell you one thing: Spurs are part of that conversation. You admit.
Yeah, we don't like it, but you're right. Anyway, let's move on, Ken.
We don't want to big them up.
I'm not trying to big them up, but that is the conundrum we have, and that's something that Arsenal fans need to. I'm not looking to a crystal ball, because crystal balls is like delusions. These are just facts. Yeah, that is the problem we have at Arsenal, and it's probably Pierre's going to have. Remember, we could offer Cesc Fabregas Champions League football. We're going to win it. We could offer RVE Champions League football. We could offer Club Champions League football because we were solid Champions League sides. You know what I mean? We weren't going to win the league, but we were always going to be a Champions League because all the rest of the league was crap. But it's different now.
I mean, do you not think that Arsenal, at some stage, they've got to change? They've got to show a change. I feel like this Aubameyang situation could be a turning point for the club where, you can't keep selling your best player and getting away with it. We sold Sanchez and managed to get Aubameyang, and, he's been a great player for us. I feel like, Aubameyang doesn't strike me as a 31-year-old who is fading. Like Ozil, we gave him the big money and he's faded quickly since. I feel like you can commit big money to Aubameyang for 2 years, 3 years maximum. And I just think, how are we going to go then and convince a Thomas Partey if we've just sold Aubameyang before that? So to me,
Aubameyang don't want to stay. Whether he doesn't want to stay, because everyone's talking about a situation, right? Sorry to cut you in.
No, it's cool.
Sorry about that. Everyone's talking about a situation where the club are at fault here. The club won't make an offer. He doesn't need the money. He's now going to think, well, what can I win? What competition? I want to be playing on Tuesday and a Thursday nights. No, Tuesday and a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I want to hear. Yeah, I want to hear Beethoven's music. Right. I want to be playing against the best players in the world. All right. The Champions League is like a World Cup every year.
Yeah.
Just a club football. I want to be part of that.
I mean, I'm just going purely off what he's saying. He's saying in his statement, he could be exaggerating it, but he's saying Arsenal hold the keys. He's basically saying they can get me to sign a new contract under the right circumstances. It all screams to me that he's saying I want to stay at the club. Even his dad, when he retweeted that picture, when saying sign the new contract, they all seem like he wants to be there, but the club have to show ambition and make him a big offer.
Yeah, and rightly so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this, and you can still make a big, fact matters. All right, I could be your best employee, and I want £500,000 a week, but I want to win.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need evidence of new signings. I'm gonna need supply
assurances.
You know
what I mean? Yeah, you need assurances.
Yeah. I said, right, you're breaking the bank for me. Well done, but hang on it. I want to be playing with better players. I want to be playing with a midfielder, a decent midfield who's going to challenge for the title. I don't want to just go for the top four. I want to challenge for the title next year. Leicester City are not the biggest club as Arsenal, but they seem to be going in the right direction. I want assurances that will never happen again, where Leicester City are creeping above us, where basically ninth for the table, Sheffield United are seventh. He's going to need those sort of insurances.
Yeah,
I think that comes from the defence, Kenny, as well. Because let's be honest, the amount of times he scored goals and then we've let it slip at the back.
Yeah.
If we don't let it slip at the back, we end up winning the game, and then obviously we start moving up that table. So the defence is so key to what we do. If we don't concede, we have a great chance of winning the game. So it's really, really, really important, man, that they get this, they get that defence right and that holding midfielder right. It's so important. But Arteta knows how to do it. He knows what he wants.
No, you left that one thing though. You talked about, remember, there's always three parts. There's remember, if everyone else is not doing their job, so you can have all of that, won't work. So it's about the mentality when they have the ball. You try and
right.
a lot of. I think a back four is only as good as the people in front of them, the hard workers in front of them. Remember, Rushy was probably one of the
best defensive strikers, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Closing down.
Yeah. And that's what we need. We need at Arsenal, because we may not be able to get like the Hollywood players, but if we get the right mentality and make ourselves difficult to beat, we could take teams by surprise.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I was speaking to someone yesterday, right? He's a current Premier League player. I'll tell you off here, right? And he's actually an Arsenal fan. And I was speaking to him about Arsenal, and he said, out of the top 6 clubs, he said, Arsenal are the easiest team to play against when you're on the ball. He said they do not make it difficult for you. They allow you to play. And he said if their plan A doesn't work, them playing the pretty football, they don't really have a lot else, They haven't got a big striker that can go direct to, And when you hear that, you just think, why are we like this now? Why are we, we seem weak, and it's painful to watch, Rob.
I know. It's what can you say?
What can you say?
The plan. It's all about a plan. Because look, this is one thing I could tell you from being in the building and knowing about the Arsenal. When teams come to play Arsenal or Arsenal go to their ground, you are going to get the best of the opposition. Trust me. Because Arsenal, the badge and everything carries that sort of respect. You are going to get the best of the opposition. So what you have to do, you've got to be able to play different ways. You've got to be able to fight. You've got to be able to run hard. You've got to be able to play good football. But you've also got to be able to consolidate and say, if you're not playing well, we can grind this out.
Yeah.
Arsenal team can't do a lot of things. No. And again, we know what it looks like. We know what it feels like. But if we look at this team and we look at the teams of the past, it bears no resemblance to what we're used to.
Yeah, but I think it's modern day football as well. I think the trouble with modern day players right now is that they believe the hype. They haven't got. It's a situation where they haven't got the ability to be mentors to younger players. Well, like when you played, Kevin, it was a norm to always have a mentor.
Yeah.
Like, if you talk about that great Liverpool side, you know, they never used to sign younger players. They always used to have experienced players who've played at a team 3 or 4 years. Then they went to Liverpool because they knew football, so they didn't have to be taught to play football. So tactically, they were on it. All they needed to do was fit into Liverpool way of playing. You know what I mean? Johnny Barnes was an England national for 4 years before he went to Liverpool. Ray Houghton had loads of games for Oxford, and the same with Johnny Aldridge. And that's the thing, is that it's all about mentality. Obviously, Arsene's team, first great sides, you know, in the first 10 years of his reign, these players knew how to play football. You didn't have to tell. Thierry Henry was a World Cup winner already. You know, Robbie Perez was part of that squad as well. You didn't need to tell them how to play football. They knew what was required when you didn't have the ball, because if they didn't, Tay Adams would let them know.
Yeah.
And so say Campbell and everyone, and even Ray Parlour was saying. So he had that sort of mentality. But in terms of, it's very difficult to get the modern player to do that now, because for some reasons we do have a blackboard or whiteboard managers, what you want to call them, who tactically invent. And sometimes some players need to be taught again.
Kenny, Tony, time out. Yeah. Kenny. All right, let me ask you this then, Kenny. Why is it that Arsenal haven't got them, but Man City and Liverpool have?
Okay, the reason why is that
they're modern day.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You've got to realise one thing, right? Is that when you go to Man City and you go to Liverpool now, and definitely you go to Chelsea, you go into a dressing room that's got the right mentality. Remember, after Jose Mourinho took the reins, he left them with a mentality, which means whoever's the manager, there's this Chelsea way, i.e., we know about, we're winners. It's a mentality. Seconds nowhere no more. We don't want to be like nice. We don't want to be those King Road guys with a bit of champagne and, you know, and having Richard Attenborough at the club, you know, president of Chelsea. We're winners, right? Man City,
about winning. Yeah.
Man City, right, had someone like Vincent Kompany there before they had Craig Bellamy. Vincent Kompany's a winner, all right? This is the Man City way, all right? If you don't do it at Man City, you're out.
Yeah.
Okay? How many players have got to Man City and been said, bye-bye, off you go, not good enough. Trevor, remember Sinclair?
Yeah.
You know, Scott Sinclair, Rodwell, who's the guy from Swansea who had to go back to Swansea. Was it Cote d'Ivoire? He's rates from the Cote d'Ivoire. Didn't work out there.
Boney.
Boney,
Yeah, Boney. That is why, because failure, there's no room for failure. Failure is not tolerated. I'm not saying it's tolerated at Arsenal, but the winning mentality is not there. Look, you know what I mean? And that's why.
Kenny, it is tolerated at Arsenal. That's the problem.
It is.
Evidence shows yes. Evidence shows yes. But we're going to have to start from somewhere. Again, it's about the manager. The players have to play in Arteta's personality. If Arteta's got a personality, got a winning personality, then those players are going to be in his image, and that's what we need from. That's what we need. The best teams are in their manager's image. You know that,
and that's why he's got to be ruthless.
Yeah,
I hope he is, but he's got to be ruthless as well with our most important player as well. He needs to say, well, if you can't sign, all right, no problems. Thanks for the memories, but I've got to move on now. He starts there.
One thing I wanted to ask you about quickly, because we've been on for over an hour. It's flown by, man. Been a great show. Obviously, you've seen all this.
You see it? Time flies when Kenny's on.
Yeah, man. Kenny just goes, man. Kenny goes. Obviously,
you know what it is, right? I think about 5 or 6 different things. And right, let's move this on. Let's get this other idea. Let's get Kevin thinking. Let Kev earn his money. There's loads of. You can't just stick to one subject.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's it. When you've got him on, you got to get all the subjects. Obviously, something a lot more serious, man. You've seen all this Black Lives Matter and the protest, things like that. We've obviously seen the Premier League are gonna. I think they're gonna put Black Lives Matter on the back of every shirt instead of the players' names. I mean, do you feel like football? I mean, are they doing that for PR, or are they genuinely behind this and supporting it? I mean, what do you think, Kev, as an ex-player?
Are you serious?
Well, there you go.
Look, again. Kick it out T-shirts, Black Lives Matter badges, you name it, all the paraphernalia is lovely to see.
Yeah.
What are the actions? What actions are they taking to eradicate the problem out of football? We know football, it's not, you can't eradicate it from football out of society.
Yeah.
But you know what? Football's such a powerful platform that they can set a precedent. But the problem is, them at the top, there's nobody that looks like us on them boards and them in the administration. There's no one. So, again, you know, Blackout Tuesday and badge and all that. We've seen it all before, guys. Haven't we? We're not young guys anymore. We've seen it all before. It's lip service to me. It is all lip service to me. What I'd like to see is action, no talking. Let me see action. But we won't see the action because they ain't serious about it, unfortunately. They're not.
So I totally agree with you, Kev. But the thing about it's about society as well. And I think the thing with football is that we're not hearing it because these fans know they're going to get banned. So they don't want to lose their season tickets. And believe it or not, this is their life. Going to football's a lot way of life.
Yeah.
But I think the thing with football in terms of like institution, football's not the only institution where basically there's perception of a black man's ability to run a football club, a black man's ability to manage. And that's a situation. Like for instance, the problem we have in football in terms of black managers is a black manager is not allowed to be a bad manager. And you look at a lot of managers, right? They get sacked, they get another job the next day. Once a black manager's got a job, well, we're giving you a chance, you're not good enough. So it means the next black manager can't get another job.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, and that's the perception. Well, so for instance, if Kevin me and Kevin had a conversation on Twitter, there's gonna be 5 people who said, well, what do you expect? Paul Ince didn't do a good job. He weren't good enough. Neither was this one, that one. They'll come at examples. But if you went up to them and said, well, how comes like whenever there's a job in like the first division or lower ends of the Premiership, why is it the same names? Why is Mark Hughes always getting a job? Why is Gary Monk always getting a job? Why is Pardew getting a job? Why is Allardyce always getting a job? Why are the same names always getting jobs after they've been sacked and got their payoffs? It's because it's like a clique, and yes, it's an Anglo-Saxon clique. Believe it or not, especially when it comes to level, because they are seen, because what's happened, their CVs are full, which means not just black managers, any young manager ain't got a good job because they keep on looking at these people. But in terms of black managers, it's a perception, isn't it? The Ron knows, like I said, quote in 1991 when he said, black players, he's never seen any black players go and watch matches. That is stuck with a lot of chairmen. And still shows no. But another thing as well, it's about the owners of the club as well. Owners of football clubs are normally, and I say it with great respect, they're not British people, they're foreign. So they're gonna be seduced by advisors to say, well, you can get this guy from Portugal. Remember the guy who managed your boys, Everton, Kev? He didn't do a good. He got sacked by Watford. Yeah, he got sacked by. He got Hull relegated, but he still got 3 good jobs, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Michael Silver, a black manager couldn't get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you look at the FA as well. Why? All right, Sol Campbell's got a job in management. Why is it someone like Sol Campbell utilised for the FA? The guy got 75 caps for England. I'm not saying that he should get a job instead of his white counterpart. But what I'm trying to say is big contention. We're all British citizens, right? This is our country, as much as John Smith, who lives in Upper Street. So if we're part of this, if we are British citizens, then we should have the same chance as everyone else. We're not asking to be preferential treatment. We're just asking for the same ability to crap at our job.
You want equality, but But it's not equal, Ken. We know that.
I know. But again, the reason why it's not equal is because of the perception of a black person's ability to make decisions on other people's behalf. And it's just so football's no different from society. You know what I mean? You are gonna get the odd one here and there, but it's not going to change. Obama was president of America, and president of the United States for 8 years. But you look at it now, there's more black people supporting Donald Trump than they ever been Obama. And they're not scared to say it because it doesn't mean by having a black manager, things are going to change. And that's the thing. We have to do it in society first. Get the perception away from a black person's ability to lead and whether the black person's quality of the job. Don't find excuses not to give him the job. Don't find excuses not to allow him to be crap at his job. All right? If we're all British citizens, then we should have the ability to be great at our job and be poor at our job.
Yeah.
And that's not happening in football.
Well, then how do we get to that point? I mean, I've got a young son playing football in the academy system. You've got a young boy, Kev, who's a professional footballer now. I mean, how can football change and give? I mean, I saw a stat that 1/3 of the Premier League players are black or mixed race. I mean, how then are these players not going into management when a lot of them do want to manage?
Well, I think a lot of them have designs on management. I was one of them. But
yeah, you wanted to manage.
I was one of them. I got involved. I was doing my coaching badges at Everton, and then I left Everton and went, for the project at West Bromwich Albion. Done the Great Escape and all that, and then I was just about to sign a contract to be on the player coach side. At the end of that contract, and the contract was pulled by the chairman.
Wow.
So, what can you do? There's nothing you could do about that once. That's gone. Obviously, look at the people I had around with me to learn. I had Brian Robson, Nigel Pearson, Craig Shakespeare, and Michael Appleton were there at the time. Darren Moore was there, obviously, as a player at the time as well. He's got into management, which was great. I mean, you look at Darren Moore. Darren Moore done a good job at West Brom and got sacked. Chris Hughton's out of a job. Chris Hughton done a great job at Newcastle. Chris Hughton done a great job at Brighton. Got the sack. And they're not doing anything better now. Brighton, are they? They're not doing better than what they done under Chris Hughton. So, again, the perception is one thing. The bottom line is, once people see the colour of your skin, they can see your name and maybe think you're not black. As soon as they see the colour of your skin, it goes against you. So, but in football, it starts from the top, and it's it's the top down, not the bottom up. Definitely the top down. They have to change. They have to change, and we should be asking them, why is there no black representation on the board? Why is there no representation at certain levels of the football club? Why, when the playing side, etc., there's a lot of representation.
Yeah, but it's all about the situations, right? Some people, it's nothing wrong. They're more than likely for the black people to be the artisans, be on the shop floor, and like be the goose, the lady, the golden egg. But having to make a decision is a different kettle of fish, because again, it's a perception that how people be taught in history is that certain group of people all are in charge. Once we get that perception that they should always be in charge, and that they have this, that their culture and heritage is superior to everyone else, then it won't change at football. You got to realise, because the other day, before you're a football fan, you're a human being.
Yeah,
and you have a heritage, and that is the thing. And you've got to get with this mental side that we're having as well. It's the opposition to it. You've got to stop people thinking that when a black person does have discussions like that they're taking something off someone. We're not taking anything away from anyone. We're not asking for preferential treatment. All right, that's an insult. That's an insult. All we're asking for is if we are British citizens, an equal opportunity. We shouldn't even have to ask for this. We're British citizens.
It should be normal. It should be standard.
Yeah, tough shit. We're not taking it for you. If we've got the job, we want to get the job on merit. But we don't want a situation where we've got the job and some person says we've got the job because of quotas. No, up yours. We got it because we're great. We shouldn't have to have these legislations, because the thing about all these institutions you're talking about, especially football, it is in their edicts to provide equal opportunities. It's in their edicts where they can get sued or taken to a tribunal because I'm not following those edicts. So they're there. It's not the change. It's getting them to practice and follow the rules of their institution. You look at any FA manual or Football League manual, equal opportunities is there. It's there in every workplace, but it's getting people to do it and proving that they're not doing it. And the numbers say not. And it has to be that mentality that we are not asking for preferential treatment or a handout. Do us a favour, really. Don't be so insulting. Don't patronise people looking at a handout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, that's a perception that we're victims. Victims of what? Everyone could be a victim, and everyone could be like a warrior. So this nonsense, rubbish that comes from people's mouths, get that perception out, but it's going to take time.
No, I had to bring up the subject, man, because it's very important at the moment, and I wanted to hear your guys' opinions. Very strong. Let's just finish off then. The Man City game on Wednesday. What team would you pick, and what's your prediction? So what would your starting 11 be, just to finish off?
Leno in goal, Bella in right back, Tierney left back, centre backs. Jeez. All right, I'm gonna go. Mustafi and Luiz. Midfield, I'm gonna go Xhaka, Torreira. I'm gonna go with Lacazette just ahead of them. Pepe on the right, Martinelli on the left, and Aubameyang through the middle.
Yeah, decent. What would you go with, Ken?
Leno in goal. Right back, Bellerin. Left back, I'm going to go for Tierney. Middle, I'm going to go with Mustafi and Luiz. Midfield, I'm going to go for Xhaka, Torreira, and because I want legs in my midfield. I want Maitland-Niles in there. Wow, and my three, I'm going to put Aubameyang down. Trouble is that we know that it's going to be Lacazette down the middle, with Aubameyang on the left-hand side.
And Ozil, number 10.
No, well, doesn't that? Well, I would do that.
We wouldn't, but Arteta would.
But if I was to choose my front three, it would be like Lacazette in the middle, Aubameyang on the left-hand side, and Pepe on the right-hand side. Because regardless whether as much as people say, but you've got to play Aubameyang down the middle. Last season he played down the left-hand side. Look how many goals he scored. It's in relative where he plays, he's going to score goals if we if we get the chances. Because the fact of the matter is he can. He's got the pace to make runs to get his body into the box, and have shots and goal from left hand side. He's got that playing him in the middle is probably going to stifle him to a certain extent because he's not the best when he's back to goal.
No,
Lacazette is.
But but Kenny, you said it yourself. We want counter attack. Remember, so
true.
If we're going to counter attack, then we're going to have opportunities to play it behind them. So
yeah, that's true. But we can still do that with basically with right backs. Sometimes the right backs can be like the hell out of the attack. Or if we do play at the back, we can still utilise Pepe and Aubameyang on one side, and then get Lacazette to make those little runs, and then give him support if the ball's coming through the midfield. Because again, I think it's something I'm going to do because Aubameyang has improved in terms of when we don't have the ball, he does provide some sort of help for our full-backs. I know Pepe's been talked into it by, like I said, our good friend Mikel. So I think that's how he's going to play.
Yeah, for real, man. I mean, I'd love to see Aubameyang, Martinelli, and Pepe front three, to be honest, just to hit them on the break. I'd also play Willock in the middle ahead of Ozil, but we'll see what he does. What's your predictions, finally? Give me your predictions and be honest, We're all thinking like Arsenal, but are we actually... Do you think we can get a result?
I think we're going to get beat 3-1. I do. I think we're going to get beat 3-1. I want Arsenal to. Of course, I want Arsenal to win. I want Arsenal. Like I said, if you give me the draw now, I'll rip your hand off.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're talking about Man City here. You know what I mean? We're talking about Man City here. So
Kev, you just built me up and made me think we're gonna win 3-1.
I would take being wrong, Curtis. I would take it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Of course, man. Yeah. What do you think, Ken?
I'm going to go for 3-1 as well. I just think that it's going to be a good game of football. But again, that team has just got so many options. So many options. I mean, I'm sure we'd give away a penalty. That's a guarantee. That's a guarantee because of the pressure we're going to be under. You know, pressure leads to mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. I'll be honest. I can't see us winning the game, man. And the 5 substitutes will help them as well. So I'll go 2-1. I'll make it a bit closer. But thanks to you both for coming on, Kev. I mean, I know you've started putting videos out on your YouTube channel now. Yeah.
I've been doing a series called Who Are You? I've had a great interview kind of thing with the main man, Kenny Ken, there.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's unbelievable. It's brilliant. Yeah. And there's a lot of people who I've interviewed, but I'm interviewing fans. So I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you soon, Curtis.
Yeah, man. Whenever you're ready, bro. And Ken, what are you going to be up to? You're going to be watching the game at home and that on Wednesday.
I'm going to watch every football game. I'm going to watch every football game.
It.
Trust me. I've been watching the Bundesliga. I've been trying to watch the Superliga in Turkey as well. But the Premiership, I'm watching it. The FA Cup as well. I don't know. Fans and no fans, mate. As long as someone it's on TV, it's going to be watched. You know, don't get me wrong, man. A lot of times people turn the sound down anyway when the football's on, so they don't hear the commentators. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it, innit? Thanks a lot for you both coming on, Kenny, Kev. Appreciate having you on. Great to talk to you both. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Smash that like button, and I'll be back later in the week. Bless.